If right now you have 13 different things going on at once, you do MMA while going to the gym, you're learning guitar whilst also singing, whilst also doing piano, you're video editing this one guy where you're also doing thumbnails for him, you're a coder, you have three different projects going on, but you're also learning AI while you're doing web design, then you need this video. By the end, if you listen and you implement what I'm going to talk about, you're going to have one work task, one project, one hobby, one physical practice, one book at a time, one podcast you're going to watch at a time. And you're going to make great progress in each area. The first step that you need to understand that you can have anything, but you can't have everything. And so you want to ask yourself, what are you optimizing for? What sub-season are you in? Because if right now you're trying to have a coaching business like I do, and I'm in the sub-season of marketing through YouTube, then all of my tasks during the day need to be towards marketing for YouTube or doing the coaching calls, because that is the sub-season of really, really grinding out the marketing, really, really grinding out the lead generation through YouTube. So what I'm going to do all day is script and record and do the coaching calls. That's all I'm going to do all day. Those are the only tasks I'm going to perform. If you're optimizing for muscle mass in the same fashion, you wouldn't be doing MMA, because you would be working out in the gym, lifting weights, and you'd be in a caloric surplus. That is it. You would not be cutting. You would not be eating junk food. You want to keep it clean. You'd be tracking your calories. You would not be doing MMA. That is catabolic as hell, because you're burning so many freaking calories. You would do one thing. If you're optimizing for learning about the coaching business submarket of YouTube, about focus and productivity like I am, I would not be reading a book on hippos. I would not be learning music. I would not be learning Spanish. I would not be doing all these things. And it sounds silly when I talk about it, but you do this in your work. I have a coaching client. He was telling me that he's optimizing for making great songs, which is very, very broad. And so what's a sub-season? Well, he said that right now he's doing a lot of piano and singing. And I told him, okay, doing piano and singing, pick one and go all in on it. Is it going to be piano? Is it going to be singing? And he started telling me, well, okay, well, it kind of has to be both on the great songs. And I'm like, 100%. But the guy who wants to learn 5 languages does one at a time. He doesn't do 1 hour of Duolingo on each. He does 5 hours of Russian for whatever it takes, like a year. He does 5 hours of French for a year. And then at the end, he knows all 5 languages. You do that in your work. You need to do that in your work too. If you're doing guitar while I was doing singing, you've got it all wrong. If I was here making videos on being focused, but I was also making videos on NoFap, there's no correlation. If my coaching business is about focus, then why the hell would I make a video about anything other than productivity and focus? I would be unfocused then. It would not be essential. It would not be what I'm optimizing for. So you can have anything in life. You can have anything. You can have the Lambo. You can be great at speaking. You could be great at writing. You could be great at presenting. You could be great at teaching. You could be great at soccer, football, badminton. But you can't be good at all of them at the same time. So you pick which one to get good at. You make that the season of your life. And you pick this sub-season. And you go all in. Try to learn 5 languages. You don't do all 5 at the same time. But you're doing that. You're a coder. You have many different projects at the same time. They have nothing to do with each other. You're trying to have everything. But you can't. You have anything. You can't have it all at the same time. There's no way. Okay? And so there's a 4-step process to focusing on one thing. You first want to identify, evaluate, eliminate, and converge. And so identify. You want to identify all the different activities, tasks, and things that you're putting your brain RAM, so like your brain energy towards, and your focus. And so going back to that client of mine, he told me that his days consist of improv on the keyboard, of doing scales, of doing guitar on his phone, and of singing. So those are 4 distinct activities. You find yours, okay? And then after you identify them. So I can identify mine as I script and I record. Those are the 2 activities I do, which is pretty good. But let's say I was also replying to comments, constantly checking YouTube analytics, which I actually kind of am right now. So I'm going to take the app off my phone because I'm spending too much time on it. Just like clicking and being like, oh my God, I'm getting views. Like, who fucking cares, bro? Identify all the activities. And then the second step is that you evaluate. How important are they? And can you get away without doing it? Is it a hell yes? Like, hell yes, I need to do this? Or is it a, well, it's kind of important? Going back to the client again, I told him, which one can you get away with without doing? Can you make great songs soon, one day, when this subseason? Can you get away without singing? Can you get away without doing piano? Which one is it? And he said, well, I can probably get away without doing any piano and just doing the singing part. I'm like, good. Why haven't you done that yet? And his answer, of course, was, well, singing is difficult. I can't sing 16 hours a day. But that's not a good excuse. I can't sing 16 hours a day. There are people who their whole career is singing. They're singers. You think that just by saying that you've just closed the whole fucking market? No. And you might do the same thing. So when you evaluate how important they are to you. Me, if I was replying to comments, that's not very important. If I was going to evaluate it next to scripting and recording, it isn't very important. And between scripting and recording, the most important part is recording. Because recording is what, if I was to just script videos but then never record them, then I would never upload them. So then I wouldn't exist on the platform. If all I did was record, my videos might be of lesser quality because I don't have any script to follow, but I would still be putting out content and I might get good at just going off rip on my head. Luckily though, you can do 2 activities, but I would be careful going more than 3. So you identify the activities that you do in your work. You evaluate how important they are. Can you get away without doing them? Is it a hell yes? Is it an activity that you need to do? Hell yes? Or is it a no? Because if it's a no, then it's a no. This is the part where you eliminate everything under a hell yes. And so if you do scales on the piano and on the guitar, or I don't know how that fucking works, but if you also do that, if guitar is a no, but piano is a hell yes, you get rid of the fucking guitar. You get rid of it. You need to make sure you're not coping that it's just because it's hard. You need to make sure of that. But if you're in the subseason of piano, fuck off with the guitar. Fuck off with it. Completely remove it. Identify where you're spending your time to, guitar. Evaluate how important is it. And then if it's not that important, you eliminate instantly and you only focus on the things that have asymmetric returns. And so as a final step, converge. You take that time away, that thought away, the RAM away from guitar, and you converge it solely towards the tasks that reap asymmetric returns. So you're trying to learn piano, all you fucking do is piano. You don't start doing guitar scales, you don't do singing. If all you're trying to do is singing, you fuck off with the piano. Fuck off with the guitar. You only focus on the tasks that reap asymmetric returns. Identify, evaluate, eliminate, and converge. Keep that in your mind. Third step is to tackle a limiting belief that you might have, which is very justified. And so this is how billionaires think. This is what I've understood from Charlie Morgan and from Sam Evans. Okay, billionaires think in a T-shaped manner. The top part of the T represents how wide your scope of disciplines are. So you might know about science, you might know about marketing, you might know about sales, you might know about art, you might know about literature, you might know about essentialism, you might know about customer support, you might know about service delivery. You know all these different things, and you know them at a broad scale. And then they have one thing that they're experts at, and that's what makes the T-shape, where they know about marketing and they know about all these different things, but they're really, really an expert at sales. They're really, really an expert at product delivery. They're really, really an expert at science. Go down. Okay, so it looks like a T-shaped. And what we've learned from Sam Evans and from Charlie Morgan, that the secret to getting rich is basically multidisciplinary thinking. If you can take a concept from physics and apply it to business, you'll make some money, because business is not its own thing. Think about it. If I tell you about friction on a website, how there's friction on a website, let's say to book an appointment, friction is a physics concept. What the fuck is it doing in business? Well, that's because business is so wide and so large that business concepts aren't real. They just borrow from other places. Marketing is psychology. Sales is communication and psychology. They're not business concepts, okay? And so now you're probably thinking, well, if the billionaires know about everything, doesn't that mean I also need to be learning about everything? Doesn't that mean that I need to be learning 13 languages at once? No, because billionaires know all this stuff, but look, they're an expert at one thing, which entails that they've learned about that one thing precisely, and they've put all their focus was that one thing for a period of their life, which means that they did not learn accounting. They did not learn accounting, sales, marketing, product delivery, all at the same time. They probably had a season in which they were a salesman. So they learned a bunch about sales. Then they had a season when they were in marketing. And guess what? They really, really like marketing. And so then boom, that became the thing that they excel at. And then they learned about taxes. They learned about delivery. They learned about web pages. They learned about all that stuff individually, one by one, depending on the sub-season of their lives. Trying to make great songs. You need to know about the guitar. You need to know about the piano. You need to know about the bass. You need to know about the singing. But you learn one at a time. Or else you're an unfocused mumbo jumbo, wherever the fuck, and you're not going to get anything actually done. Not actually going to learn anything. Do learn how to think in models. Okay, this is like the billionaire way of thinking. They think in models. They think in these like abstract concepts where they're going to model a rocket to show their business and how when they're burning fuel, they're burning off their passion or whatever. They're going to do all that stuff, which you should learn. But you learn one at a time. Learn multiple disciplines, one at a time. And finally, step 4 is doing this in all areas of your life. So repeat that 4-step process everywhere. Identify, let's say friend group. Identify every single friend that you have. Evaluate, which sounds very, very rude and harsh. And when you spend time with them, is it a hell yes? Or is it a, it's kind of fun? And then you eliminate. Spending time with that person isn't enlivening and riveting. You remove them. And you converge on the friends that do matter. That's it. You can do this in your diet. It's a bit less serious. You can do this in your diet. You can do this in your fitness. You know, what exercise selection you're doing. You identify all the exercises you do. You evaluate which ones you like the most, which is the most important for you. Then you eliminate all the exercises that you don't use, and you converge on the ones that you do want to do that reap the most asymmetric returns. Do this in your relationships. You'll be shocked. You won't want to do it, but you have to. Do that in your hobbies. Do that in your vices. Do that to the girls you're speaking to. Do that to the drugs you're using. Do that to the content creators you watch. Identify all the content creators you watch. Evaluate how valuable the videos are, and eliminate everything under a hell yes and converge on the hell yeses. This process is incredibly powerful, difficult to do, but will reap the rewards that you want. It will yield the life that you want. One last point, you need to get into the habit of finishing things. And so the way to have a focus, if you can have a focus on the macro, if you're only focusing on guitar, then if you're going to be learning about guitar, be focused in that learning. And so if you pick a podcast you're going to watch, you're going to pick a book you're going to read about guitar for some reason, then you only read that book until you finish it. Get into the habit of finishing things. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Get into the habit of finishing things. You can't be productive, focused, finishing one project at a time in your work and then try to read 4 books at once. You'll make very little progress in all of them. Pick a book, pick a podcast, watch it fully, read it fully, pick one project, do it fully, pick one purpose, pick a couple of friends that you actually value, and go all in on them. And throughout this whole video, you've been probably thinking about one vice, this one girl you talk to, girlfriend, that job opportunity, that one thing that keeps you from going all in. And what you need to do is just identify, evaluate, eliminate, and converge on the things that truly do matter. Like, subscribe, bye.